So of the numerous types of NFT artwork out there, there's one that really stands out, not only in terms of ease of creation with free software at that, but also in terms of future adoption, especially in metaverse related NFT projects and games such as the Sandbox, Cryptovoxels, and even Roblox. And so today I'm going to showcase a completely free software for creating these so-called 3D voxel NFTs and how you can potentially make money from them by listing them on various marketplaces. But before we begin, a very quick word from today's sponsor, which is my very own YouTube courses that you can check out in the links below. That'll help you turn your favorite hobbies and passions into a profitable side hustle. And with that, let's get started with the video. So starting off, I'm going to actually introduce to you guys to a game that I recently discovered called Cryptovoxels. It's completely free, a sort of metaverse type game that you can play right from your browser. And as you can see, people have their own sort of avatars that they can deck out with different, well, these voxel art, right, which are like NFTs that they can equip on their characters. And not only that, but you can also create assets for the Cryptovoxels world, right? And this is kind of similar to different metaverse games and NFT games like Decentraland and Sandbox being some of the largest, right? And with Cryptovoxels being another major one with really huge players, mainstream corporations, companies, and celebrities being involved with this project as well. So you can definitely go on to cryptovoxels.com to check out this website. But for today's video, I'm going to show you how to create avatar items, which are NFTs that your avatar or other people's avatars can equip, and thus you can also sell on the marketplace, right? And including OpenSea as well, which is the largest NFT marketplace, right?
Right.
And not only can you sell on Cryptovoxels' own public marketplace, as well as OpenSea, which you do have to mint your NFTs through Ethereum or Polygon, but with OpenSea, currently you just have to mint it once for your very first NFT, and then subsequently people just pay the minting fee, which is rolled into the buying fee when people buy it, so you don't have to pay the extra minting fee. Anyhow, besides that, there are plenty of other opportunities, in my opinion, for these types of 3D voxel NFTs, such as the Sandbox, which has their very own ecosystem, and I've discussed the Sandbox before on my channel. They have their own marketplace, they have their own free software that you can design voxel artwork with. So that's that. And then there's other opportunities as well through, say, Roblox, which is yet another really popular game, right? One of the most popular games in the world at that, and they definitely use this technology in voxel artwork and are planning to get into the metaverse as well, right? So for example, if you wanted to not only sell, or you could not only sell assets on these respective marketplaces, right? Again, Cryptovoxels, OpenSea, the Sandbox has their own marketplace, but it's still in alpha, so it's going to be a while before it becomes more public. But there's also the Roblox marketplace, so you can also sell games, and they have their own free software to design these, games and voxel artwork as well. But besides that, you can also take your services to, freelancing websites such as Fiverr and, offer them there, right, or Upwork. And I believe that's just scratching the surface of the possibilities for especially making money or even a career out of creating voxel artwork or metaverse related assets, right? And for this, there's one particular software that is free, that is also very easy to use, that you can use to essentially generate these types of 3D NFTs or just pure artwork, right? And it's called Voxel. You can just go to this website. I'll link it down below, but you can just Google it as well, Voxel, and you'll be able to download it for either Windows or Mac. And just make sure you go into the link after you click on the latest version of the software. You basically just want to download all of the different files here, right, or these zip files, and then unzip them onto your computer, right? So since I'm using Windows, for example, I only need to download the Windows 64 version and then download the source code as well as the patch here. But if you're using Mac, you don't download the Windows 64 and just download the Mac version instead, right? But you still download the other files. So basically just download all this. Again, it's free. And there are also tutorials that you can find online that you can, just follow along to create artwork with. So that's very convenient as well. And the sky's really the limit with even just Voxel, as you can not only create these really complex looking environments, for example, 3D voxel based environments like you can see here with these screenshots, but you can also just focus on wearable NFTs, for instance, in the Cryptovoxels metaverse, right? Such as things that, these are the collections, but if I just show you an example of some of the assets that people are selling on the marketplace, these are just really simple ones. We have like Elvis Presley here, and right, these are just sort of different heads and sort of 3D images of various things and wearables as well, right? So some of these are just examples of helmets that users or players can wear within the game, but there are other types of accessories as well. And the software also makes it easy for you to sort of specify and attach, the type of, apparel or sort of gear, so to speak, onto which body part of the character, right? So it actually makes it really convenient for that. And not only that, but you can also import PNG files, which are like the flat images, onto the software like this, and you can just build on a 3D image off of that, right? For example, you can make a block out of that very, very easily, right? So there are a ton of tutorials. I'll try to link some down below. And let's now get into a quick demo of the software. Alright, so to quickly show you how Cryptovoxels works and to point out some things to know, especially if you want to sell and export projects for specifically Cryptovoxels, the metaverse, although you could definitely create voxel artwork for different types of platforms as well. But specifically for or Cryptovoxels rather, you want to make sure the dimensions is 40 by 40 by 40, right? So what you'll see here is that the dimensions are actually just 20 by 20 by 21 instead of 40 by 40 by 40, and you can see it on the top right here. Oh, and by the way, before I actually move on to scaling, the way I actually created this Viking, or technically I didn't create it, was I went to the far right. As you can see, the toolbar here says project. I opened up one of their template projects, which is this character knight here. So we have this Viking character, and there are other examples as well, like this castle, cars. That's pretty neat. And just like a cube that you can start with, Doom character if you are familiar with this game, and some other ones like castles and so on and so forth, right? Teapot. But for this example, I'm just going to stick with this Viking here. So mainly for if you're going to be selling, or if you intend to create a collection or sell on the marketplace of Cryptovoxels, the metaverse, right? You want to actually make the dimensions fit within the cube 32 with dimensions of 32 times 32 times 32, and the way you do so is you can actually scale the boxes up here, right, as you can see. And then what you also want to do, so what that just did was I made the entire cube 32 by 32 by 32, right? But as you can see, the Viking is still very small compared to the actual cube, so you want to fill up obviously the cube as much as possible with your actual asset, right? So what you can do for that is you go to the edit bar on the right here, which is the first bar from, well, this first or second bar depending on where you count from, but this bar here, you want to go to edit and then you want to open up scale, okay? And depending on how large your object is, so originally it was like 20, like around 20 by something by 20, right? So I roughly want to scale it to double the size to make it match, or a little bit less than double the size to make it match 32 by 32 by 32. So let me type in 1.5 here, and as you can see, it's a lot larger and it still fits within the box, right, or the cube. And so what I can do further is to make it even larger. Oopsie daisy. Okay, I think this is a bit too large because I scaled it from what we just had just now. So I'm gonna make it just a little bigger. Okay, okay, I need to scale it down. So I think this is roughly the maximum that I can scale it without making it exceed the box, right? So you basically want to scale it larger or smaller just to fit the cube 32 by 32 by 32 as best you can, to have the most, best looking, the right size essentially for the asset you create for Cryptovoxels. But of course, if you want to create assets for different platforms, like say the Sandbox, which has its own free editor, but there are other uses for voxel art as well, right? Like Roblox, Sandbox, just being a freelancer for it, other types of metaverse assets, for example, or just NFTs in general, right? Not necessarily a Cryptovoxels NFT for that metaverse. You can just, ignore this dimension restriction. And now if you want to actually create your assets, not necessarily from the templates that they provide, there are definitely lots of free images and even 3D objects that you can use, that you can import right into Cryptovoxels or Voxel and use as your own, right? For instance, you can import royalty-free PNG files, or not necessarily even royalty-free, but just images, flat images, PNG or JPEG files, such as with this tutorial right here. You can actually just build off of it by adding blocks on top of each of these small like pixels, for example, just to build out a 3D image. And then there are also other, say, 3D objects called .obj files that you can probably find royalty-free or Creative Commons, etc. Options for that you can also import into Magical Voxel to build off of. And not only that, but there are people who even provide free skins and different types of assets for Magical Voxels, such as this person here, which has created a few and listed them on Gumroad, which is a digital file marketplace. Some of these Magical Voxel shaders and different, assets that people can use for free, right? And this is just one person out of many, right? I can even load more from this person. They actually have a lot. I'll link this down below if you're interested. They have like tree templates too, head shader, like vegetation, and some other cool stuff. So these are definitely some good ways to get started. And not only that, but I also link up some free tutorials down below if you'd like to get more in depth with building stuff from scratch with Magical Voxel, because I really don't have that much time for this demo to really build stuff out, and I'm not that artistic either, so I'll leave that to people who are more qualified and better at that than I am. So I'll link those tutorials down below for your reference as well. Alright, and something really cool I want to show you guys is that you can also actually test out your 3D NFTs right on Cryptovoxels before doing anything like listing them on a marketplace. For example, I've actually placed, as you can see, my little Viking here, and the way to do so is you want to, first of all, one way to do it is to actually own land within Cryptovoxels, but I don't. But the alternative would be to actually look for a so-called sandbox zone within the metaverse. So what you can do is once you zone into the game or log into the game, you want to click on the map, which I can access here with the bottom right. So I can click on the entire map, and then as you can see from the legend here, I can actually look for sandboxes in particular or specifically. So here you want to just check sandbox, and you'll see icons on the map that represent these so-called sandboxes, and I'm standing in one right now. So what you can do is just click on the icon and then select teleport here. And so here I've already teleported into a sandbox, and what this allows me to do is to test out my voxels basically. So what I can do is, if I just rescale a little bit and show you the right here. So if you look at the far right, I can actually click on this paintbrush, and it'll allow me to add certain features. Whoops, it's not the paintbrush, it's the first icon here. So the boxes, cubes icon here, I can actually add different things into this so-called sandbox. So what you want to do to test out your 3D voxel NFT specifically is you want to click on, let me move myself really quick just to show you. So as you can see at the very bottom, there's a option called Vox Model. Select that, and then you'll see this cube here. That's the 32 by 32 cube, I believe, and then you can just place it, and you'll say Vox, right? Because the file hasn't been added, but the asset, like the sort of baseline asset, has been. So I can also go to upload. Let me move myself again. So as you can see, I can click on upload on the bottom right to upload my file, which was my little knight, right? So once I click on my knight that I've exported from the software, you'll see that it's been put into my metaverse here, and indeed it does work, right? So look at this. Here she is, or he or she is, right? There it is. Pretty cool stuff. So that's how you would be able to test out your NFTs. And now real quick onto some of the more direct ways to monetize and sell your 3D voxel NFTs. First of all, you can go through, if you don't have a parcel of land, in which case, if you do have a parcel of land within Cryptovoxels, and it's quite expensive to own one, so I don't assume that you do, but if you do have one, you can actually create your own collection and even advertise your collectibles or your NFTs within that piece of land on the metaverse, right? But again, for other people who don't own land, you can actually go over to Marketplace. So you go to cryptovoxels.com/marketplace, go over to collections here, and then you want to select available to public. And this is where you can actually submit your NFTs, your voxel NFTs, onto any of these public collections. And once people that own these collections approve of your NFT, you can then list your collectibles or your NFTs for sale through these public collections. So there are a lot of them, and there are a lot of people who are listing through these as well. One of which is, for example, this one called Sorry About Your Cats. The owner is called Sorry About Your Cats. It actually, that person, I need to also give credit for giving me a lot of ideas for this tutorial. But anyway, this public collection, as you can see, you can actually submit to by going to submit. Well, obviously, click on submit here, and you can name your NFT like Viking, for example, describe it, and then upload the actual Vox file, right? The .vox file that you saved from Magica, as it says here, Magica Voxel, and then you can submit your submissions onto any of these public ones, right? Alternatively, you can also use, first of all, if your NFT gets approved on Cryptovoxels, the Cryptovoxels, one of the public, collections, you can just go through that and just click through this website to sell onto OpenSea directly. And with that, that's pretty much all I want to show you guys in today's video. Leave a like if you liked the video or found it helpful, and with that, I will see you in the next video. Peace.